So, bit of an update on the markets right now. I'm just going to look at all the markets, guys. Give you a bit of an update on today. Man, what a crazy day in the markets. Especially what's happened in the whole Washington, D.C. What a crazy, crazy day it has been. So, we are just on the verge of closing the markets. As you can see, things are moving, things are happening. But I want to give you an update on what's happening, what's actually happening right now, what's actually happened today, and what's coming down the road. Let me get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into it. But before I do start, guys, I am running a webinar today and the free training, and I'm going to share with you exactly my trading strategy, how I scan the markets to find my trading setup. I'm going to talk to you about how I went from losing money to actually then starting to do well from the markets, and so much more. So if you're interested in learning my trading system, I'm just going to share with you all the details. So go to johnsfreetraining.com or link in the description. Moving over now, let's actually start with the stock market, and then we'll get into silver and gold. The stock market right now, we actually had quite a nice pop to the upside. And it does, to me, it's really interesting to see what's happening right now. We're definitely in a very hard territory when it comes to the individual stocks, because if I look at the last, say, 3 months, we've just really been doing this here. As you can see, just a really big sort of channel, and we're slightly breaking out. So, man, I tell you right now, guys. Same with the S&P 500. Same thing. We're just slowly grinding up. So it's very hard to say. You know, what's gonna come next. But I wouldn't be too surprised. If we actually open this chart up, if I squeeze this chart up, I wouldn't be too surprised if we did start to run back up towards the top of the channel. So 4,000 plus. That's sort of the target that I have there. But what generally happens most years is leading into January and February, we sometime within the first couple of months, we generally get a bit of a sharp pullback first. It just seems to happen. You know, we get a bit of a sharp pullback, gets people freaked out, and then we make a big rally in the actual stock market. So right now, guys, it looks like the market wants to continue slowly up, and it just with what's happening politically and stuff like that, it does look like where the market just wants to keep just grinding up from here. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you actually think the S&P is on its way up to 4,000, or Harry Dent has recently come out and said the market's going to crash 40%? I wouldn't take. I'll leave that guy alone. Let me know what you think in the chat box below. And same for the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is trying to break to the upside, trying so hard to break to the upside, but we're just slowly grinding. Tell you right now, guys, things are in like a meh territory, right? Things are meh in the stock market. Not really much is happening on the indices anyway. There's lots of movement on individual stocks. Which is quite nice as well too. Maybe over now through to silver and gold, and gold has actually paused a little bit, and we've actually had a little bit of a down day today. Not much of a down day, but you can see it actually rallied up. You can see I'm actually missing a day here for some reason. My data is not doing what it should be. But anyway, we actually opened, came down, and now we're rejected there. What we don't want to see when it comes to this short-term pattern is we don't want to see this thing get back into this channel, because if that happens, this is going to be a false breakout. And guys, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just sharing what I'm sharing. This is on the short term anyway, guys. You know what may be happening moving forward. Okay, I know people don't like it when I'm just saying, okay, I am bullish when the market says I'm bullish short term, and long term. Like when I look at those big pictures, I don't give a damn what happens the next week. We could go down 10% over the next 2 weeks, 2 months. Who cares? You know, you watch over the next few years, we're going to be rocket ship. But on the short term, guys, if you're a short term trader, then this is something that you need to keep an eye out for, because if we do hold and we get back into the channel, and we break back below into this channel, this is going to be a false breakout, and we will probably have, then there's a probability of a pullback in gold. Like for the last few days, I've been saying that, you know, we're broken out, we're getting ready to break up, and so on and so forth. But if the market then suddenly changes its mind, we need to bend and mold with it. It's so important. And I know a lot of people don't like that, right? Because a lot of people want to hear that, especially, you know, especially the bumblebees that watch my videos, right? Because you want to hear something other than you don't want to hear something other than what's contrarian to the position you have. I am long gold and silver right now, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be oblivious to what may be coming down the road. I've got to keep an eye for that. Now, I'm long gold and silver, and I have a view of 2025. What happens in the next short term? I'm just giving you the short term update. We could drop for a week. If we do drop in, we could drop for 2 weeks, and then for the next, next year we rally back up and rally hard. You just never know. But you bumblebees, all right, just be prepared that if we do start, because we're pausing here right now, and if we do start to break back in, then we could be getting ready for another bit. We could be getting ready for a drop in gold. And guys, this is the one biggest thing that most of you bumblebees have a hard time when it comes to the stock market, especially short-term trading. Short-term trading is about, okay, what's the market telling me right now? And I need to respond to what the market's telling me. Little bumblebees, I tell you. One of the worst things you can do, guys, as a trader is be so dogmatic on your position. If you're a short-term trader, especially if you're a short-term trader, it's so important to not be so dogmatic to your position, all right? Just think about your trading. If you're a short-term trader, which I have short-term positions on, and I have long-term positions on. If you're a short-term trader, treat that like a date, all right? You walk up, you give a little peck on the cheek, say, "Hey, doing, darling? Want to go to McDonald's for our first date?" She says, "McDonald's," you're fired already. And then suddenly she leaves. And then she calls back up and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have walked out like that. I'm sorry. I really do want to see you," and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "All right, we'll go to Hungry Jack's instead." Or Red Rooster or KFC. What are they? And she hangs up on me again. Right? That's how you trade the markets. When you trade the markets, you always have a small risk on your account, no more than 2% risk on your account. And always make sure that you've got a plan of, okay, if things don't work out for me, I need to be close to the exit point to be getting out, because there's always an opportunity to get back in. And that's what trading is all about. Keep your risk small and understand that, hey, that just because you have such a strong view, and even I'm very, very, very bullish on the metals and miners, but on the short-term basis, guys, doesn't mean we can't get a little bit of a pullback. That's just the way the market works, right? And the more you think something, the more probably the opposite is going to happen as well too. So being to the other side. So just give it a little peck on the cheek, okay? Now for you investors like me, which means I've just bought and I'll be holding for quite some time. Who cares what happens for the next week? We could go for we could do nothing for the next 6 months, and then suddenly, at the second half of this year, that's when suddenly gold and silver goes for a big move. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Who cares? But for you traders, you need to have that trading mentality as well too. If you're an investor, don't be an investor in the markets. Meaning you're investing for long term, and then suddenly we get a drop. We get a drop for a week, and now you're freaking out. No, wrong, wrong, no, wrong. It's like no. It's like just be patient, be calm, okay? So anyway, moving over now through to the GDX, and GDX is still looking quite powerful right now. We did have a very, very, very nice break out of this level through here, bit of a gap up, and so it's still looking quite strong through here. GDX as well too is actually holding at this level, is actually holding at this resistance level. So I want to see the GDX actually break above that, but it looks like we could be getting close for that to happen. The SILJ is really, really strong. Look at this here. It's actually breaking new highs. It actually just broke new highs. Bit of a sideways pattern. We're just slightly breaking up. So even if we did get a bit of a short-term pullback on the silver I went to say Johnny on there. Silver Giants. The Silver Giants. The Silver Juniors. Then I did, man, having a good old time today, aren't I? Well, the Silver Giants. Even if we did get a bit of a pullback, guys, we've actually started to break up and out. And so even if we did get a bit of a pullback, I'm very bullish SILJ. And the silver, the SIL, as you can see, very nice break to the upside. We're holding quite strong. So even if we did get a bit of a pullback, I still see The silver mining stocks are very, very, very strong. Compared to what's happening with the silver and gold and so on and so forth. So out of all these guys, the silver and the silver giants are leading the pack. And remember what I said today, guys, okay? That the hard thing about trading is thinking you're going to be right and you're going to make money every single trade. Don't do that, right? Because there's no that's not the way the game. That's not this game works when it comes to trading. You just never know. So rule number one is protect your account and make sure you're staying close to the exit point. And I know that's always hard, guys. You know, there's a lot that actually goes into a good trader. On that webinar that I'm running, you know, you'll be able to see on the secret number one is I'm going to walk you through the one thing that you must do as a trader to become a good trader. Because if you don't do this one thing, then you won't be a really, really good trader. And then the second thing, in the second sequence, I'm going to walk you through my trading system. And then the third thing, I'm going to show you my scanning technology, or how I run my scans to actually find my setups as well too. So it's amazing. It's amazing training. You're going to absolutely love it. Make sure you click on that very first link in the description below, guys. And just make sure, guys, you like, subscribe, do all that schmozzle. And just remember, no bumblebees, okay? No bumblebees. Don't be a bumblebee. Sometimes bumblebees get squashed, all right? So, you know, just don't put all your bees into one basket, because, you know, there could be a bit of a it could be a bit of a hailstorm, and, you know, the whole bumblebees get, you know, all your bees get something knocked out of the out of the casket. Is that the word for it? I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and because there's that, you know. The whole thing about trading, guys, is the market will be here next year. The question is, will you? And I guarantee you 90% of you right now, because I got the t-shirt, are loading up a lot of money, trying to make a lot of money really quickly. And at the end of the year, you're actually worse off than if you were just to slowly take your time. Don't try and force it by trading a lot. Don't try and force it and rush it by loading up a lot of money. I talk a lot about that on my webinar, actually, in the link description below. Plus, I talk about how I actually went from $250,000 in net to actually trading full time. But the whole thing is, like, you know, don't rush it, don't force it, okay? Because the thing is, us, when we're rushing and when we're forcing something, what ends up happening, we actually end up going backwards. But if we do our work and we do our job, but we slowly do our job, and we trade good setups, we have good risk management, some are losses, most are profits, rinse, recycle, repeat, we actually continue to get better and better and better and better each year. And that's what I want for you. So anyway, guys, make sure you join the webinar below, like, subscribe, and don't be a bumblebee.